Paltrocast.
Good afternoon. How's your day going aside from doing press?
My day is going fantastically well. It's exciting. It's sunny outside. I'm in Lisbon. The weather is amazing, so can't complain, man.
So it's good evening to you if you're in Lisbon.
Not quite. It's still quite sunny outside. I think it's going to start getting dark around 8 p.m. or almost 9 p.m. in here.
Wow. Lucky you.
That's so nice.
I'm glad to hear you're having a great day. Thank you for taking the time to talk. Duchess is the new movie. How did you wind up in Duchess? Because it seems like Charlotte and Neil keep the people around that they love. So I'm assuming that you knew them for a while.
Not really. I'm a newcomer.
Oh.
I'm a total newcomer. I was found through a regular casting process with self-tapes and the like, and apparently there was something about me that Neil liked. I asked him that after, and he told me there was something about me that was suitable for the character he was looking for. There was a toughness, but also there was a certain sensitivity that he thought would be good for the character he played in connection with the Charlotte. Yes. Right.
So Billy is the character. Is there a lot of Billy?
Billy is the character. Baraka. Yeah.
Is there a lot of similarities between you and the character?
Yes, always. So far, the characters I've been playing, there's always something about them that is similar to me. In this particular case, this idea of mentorship, this idea of protecting someone close by. The fact that he sees this is Duchess a little bit as if she would be his daughter almost, so he has this. So I have that. His background is similar to my background, coming from Africa, coming from a place, because he was a mercenary. So he's been to places where there was war happening. So this is also my background. I come from a country that was at war for 40 years. My childhood and beginning of adulthood was always surrounded by a civil war environment. So there were definitely lots of things that Baraka had that are similar to me.
Got it. When I spoke with Charlotte last week, she mentioned that she had to do some boxing training related to this film. Did you have to do any special prep?
Well, the usual. I'm very physical. So I exercise normally. I run, I do a few push-ups, pull-ups, and things like that.
Sure.
I play basketball for a long period of time. I enjoy doing my stunts whenever I go into a project. So I always do my stunts when I go into a project. And I usually develop a very good relationship with the stunt team. And they love me because of that. I want to do everything. So we go through the work that needs to be gone through in order to make those stunts realistic. Because I usually can tell when an actor is doing the actual thing and there's a double who's doing it, And I don't want my audience to see that. I want them to see it and see that it's me doing that thing. So we had training for that, of course, because you don't just jump over there because it's dangerous. And that's how we achieve things. So you train for that. You go to the gym, you pump iron, and you do jumps and all sorts of things. And you go through the choreographies with the stunt coordinators, and you make it happen.
Well, when you say that you do everything, you also produce and direct outside of your acting. Did you plan all along that you were going to have this multifaceted career, or you just weren't going to only be the on-camera person?
No, I think life is developing for me in a very let's see what happens next way.
Mm-hmm.
So I never thought I was going to be an actor. I started acting when I was 28. Before that, I was doing something entirely different. I was in kind of an administrative, political kind of environment. I was studying public administration and law.
Mm-hmm.
I started acting when I was 28. That's late for a lot of people. And I never knew I wanted to be an actor. So one thing goes, pulls another thing, and suddenly I'm directing and I'm producing, and I still don't know the end of the journey. But the common thread in all this is the storytelling. And you can do storytelling whether through acting or through directing or through writing or through producing. It's all part of the process, yeah? So it's been fun. It's been this is not programmed, it's just happening. So I'm just following the thread, you know?
Yeah, when I was a kid, movies pretty much were made in New York and Los Angeles, and that was it. And these days, there's a lot of movies made in Georgia, North Carolina. They say it's New York, but it's really London or it's Vienna, etc. Are you traveling a lot more these days because of acting?
I always did. My very first film, international film, was a film entitled Viva Riva, that was shot in DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. And ever since then, I work in different places. I worked in North America, I worked in South America, I worked in Europe, in different countries. I worked in Africa, of course, and I worked in different languages because I speak different languages.
Yes.
So I speak Spanish, French, English. I had played Portuguese. I had played roles where I had to speak Hungarian, which is a very difficult language,
Yes.
and Czech and Slovak. So this is one of the aspects of the work that I do enjoy. The fact that I can work in many different locations, many different geographies. You get to interact with different cultures as well. And that's really fascinating. So I was never just on one particular spot, on one particular country, or one particular continent. I'm always bouncing around.
So what I'm hearing in talking with you is that you're willing to do all sorts of jobs, not just be on camera. You're willing to speak other languages. You're willing to stay in shape. You might be one of the easiest actors there is to work with these days.
Well, you would have to ask that to my directors and the people that work with me. But I'm kind of inclined to agree with you.
Is that because, though, you started at such a later age? In other words, you did real people jobs before you transitioned into acting. So, in other words, that you approach the profession with a lack of ego, with a lack of realistically going, this is easier than digging graves.
No, I do have a big ego, man. I'm aware of that. Yeah, I have a huge ego. I think I'm a king. Look at me. So, but that's not the thing. I think life has humbled me. I have a history in my life that is very traumatic.
Oh, sure.
I had to deal with very things that people only deal with in adult age from early age. So it always felt like the mat was being pulled off my feet, sure. And I had to find the balance to stay up. And in all this, you learn that you're really not the most important thing in the universe, and when it comes to people, you never know who you're talking to. That person may be somebody today. You never know what they're going to be tomorrow. What if you're going to need that person or not? Mm-hmm. So what I'm learning is really okay. And I think this is also one of the essences of the work that we do, because we are trying to be human, right? We are trying to portray human beings. Okay, when we are not doing one CGI thing with like Avatar and stuff like that, right? Which they're also trying to portray things with human characteristics, yeah. Yeah. And if you're trying to do that, you have to be able to reach out and to grasp every person and to try to understand every person. This is one of the things that is fulfilling me the most about this job. It's really being able to put myself in another human skin, and it helps not just on camera when we're doing this fictional works, but also in reality when we're interacting with real people who think in a different way than we think, who feel differently than we feel. So I think this is what's making me more and more humble, and also it's a very flexible kind of work. You never know who you're going to be working with and what their criteria, what their method is. Every director works in a different way, I worked recently with a director that you had the script, and you think you're gonna do what's in the script, mm-hmm. But when you get to the set, he changes things around, and you have to be able to adjust. So
every director is going to be different, of course. Yeah. As you said, well, I have two quick questions for you, Hoji, and then I'll let you go. And the first one is Duchess to us is a new movie. When I spoke to Charlotte, I think she said the script started getting written in 2020 or 2021. So it was an older long-term project. Are we allowed to know where we're going to see you next, which film or TV show?
Well, you might be seeing me in two projects. One that is going to come out for Disney Plus in January, that was shot in Brazil. We shot it in January and February, and it was supposed to come out in November this year. They're very fast these days, man. But it's going to come out in January. It's called MMA, Meu Melhor Amigo, that's Portuguese, My Best Friend. And this is a story that delves around mixed martial arts and autism. And it's a drama with lots of action, lots of fighting. You know, some of the people that are engaged in real life in the MMA movement are part of the film. You know, we have this celebrity referee in it, Mario Yamazaki, for instance. And it was a very exciting project. I had to learn how to fight, you know, to learn how mix, because my character is a coach, again, another mentor. I'm a mentor to Duchess in this movie, and I'm a mentor to the protagonist of that other movie. So I guess I'm gearing towards the mentorship kind of characters, you know.
Fantastic.
I may be Morpheus one of these days, who knows.
I like MMA, so I'm excited about that project and seeing you in that. And the last question has nothing to do with Duchess. It's, what's the last concert that you went to?
The last concert that I went to. The last concert that I went to happened by accident, to tell you the truth.
Sure.
And it happened in Zagreb, Croatia. It happened by accident, and for that reason, I forgot the name of the band that was playing. Because I have a friend who's a musician, and he invited me to go to this satire award ceremony. And that was happening in Zagreb, Croatia. So I went, and at the end of the satire ceremony, he told me that before, a popular Croatian band was performing. It was a rock band. It was a rock concert. That's the last concert I've been to.
Wow. So Croatia, Brazil, Congo, you never know.
Portugal, France. I'm everywhere, man. I'm
everywhere.
like God. I'm everywhere.
And you're a king. We have learned that as well. Well, thank you for your time. Congrats, Duchess, and looking forward to that MMA project as well in the near future.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Paltrocast.